Hello, everyone. Very excited to see you and hear from you, and it's wonderful. Today, I have the amazing Hajj Womack. He is here. Hello.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? Hey, Cassandra, what's going on?
Oh my God, great friend, great person to know. Today, we're going to really dive into what is Teachers in Touch and how can it best support your school. So I'm very excited to talk about really strategies that we can use today in the classroom, but Hajj is here. So tell us a little bit, one, how amazing you are, Hajj, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow, thank you. Great introduction. Well, I'm an educator. I've been a veteran educator for 20 plus years. I started off as a teacher and ultimately became a principal. And that gave me some really unique insights on seeing things up close and personal, while a lot of things are successful and why there aren't. So that's what we're all about. And so I've started there, then became a consultant, and I started my own Teachers in Touch education platform.
So that's, like I said, he has been there and done that. Typically, you got people who have not walked the walk, but he is the guy who has done that. So I'm very excited to have him today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So today, we're going to dive into so many things. So, like I said, Mr. Womack is the CEO and founder of Innovative Schools Tools. So I'm very excited to learn about that. And today, we're going to talk about the benefits, how to improve relationships with our parents and families. That's something we want to know how to do. And how can leaders support their parents? So, Hajj, you go ahead and jump in anywhere, but I'm excited to learn today.
Well, I'm so excited to be here as well. I just want us to think about teachers and parents not as a nice to have, you know what I mean? Or that's just an afterthought. We really have to change that mindset of teachers contacting parents and improving parental engagement as just some extra. No, it is essential. It is actually instructional support. Who best to learn more about that child than to learn it from the parent? You know, the parent is at that job all the time, right?
Oh my gosh, yes, you know, you're so right.
Go ahead.
So no, you're so right. I'm thinking of, like, at the beginning of the year is the most crucial time for teachers, parents, families, all of us to get together to see how we can best support the kids.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Instead of learning by trial and error, what are the kids' strengths? What turns them off? What gives them, what to set them off and have an attitude? Why not just ask the parent? Hey, parent, what really makes your child want to do the chores? what makes your child not want to do the chores? What is the thing that will get them excited and motivated? What are their hobbies? What are their strengths and weaknesses? We can learn that immediately from the parents by getting them involved as partners early on versus waiting till something bad happens and then we want to reach out.
Oh no, I totally agree. You know, partners, that's a lot to just think about. How can we have families as partners? Like, we're running to the school together. We're working together because we both want what's best for the kids. So yes, I am excited about it.
Absolutely. And we definitely need to do that. And the parent is definitely been with that child forever. And so we can build on their knowledge about that individual child to make our work a lot easier. But we cannot do that if we think of it as an afterthought. We have to really change that mindset. And so before we talk about, well, it's a benefit and things of that nature, but what is the existing mindset? We talked about it as an afterthought, but we can move that into a real part of the instructional support. What exactly do I mean? The leader in the building, instead of making it a vague, what is parental engagement, and just say, go for it, we really need to make it concrete, make it real. What do I mean by that? That means applying a SMART goal to communication with the parents. We have SMART goals with everything else. I want to improve student attendance by 10% in the next month. Or I want to improve my quiz scores on ELA in the next 2 months. We have SMART goals for that, but we leave parental involvement vague.
Yes, no, I totally agree. And, you know, I keep thinking about what is the parental involvement in typical schools. And many times I just think PTO, right? Mm-hmm. How do we get beyond the PTO?
Absolutely. You know? We have to get beyond that because that's a once a month scenario.
Yeah.
So much happens within those days of the week before that PTO meeting or before the parent-teacher conference meeting. We need them involved as partners in their child's education, not just, oh, let's help the school raise X amount of dollars. No, specifically in their child, because that's what moves students in achievement. It is that moves student achievement, not, oh, we had a parent-teacher dinner and we raised $5,000. It helps. We need the money. But at the same time, it's not the only thing that moves the day-to-day instruction. We want something that'll help a kid improve in their times tables, right?
Mm-hmm.
We need something that help them to improve their reading comprehension,
right,
on an everyday basis in that classroom. And communication with the parent will definitely do that. In fact, research shows that by communicating with the parent in an effective way, research-based messages, not just announcements, but research-based messages will improve, reduce your failure rate by 40%. I mean, just imagine if you can say, I'm going to improve my failure rate by 40%. That's a significant increase in student achievement. It'll also reduce the student disruption by 20%.
Wow.
Would that make your life easier? Would that make a teacher's life easier?
Yes. Because I'm thinking about like when I was in the classroom and what communications we had was like the newsletter, the monthly newsletter, or maybe a parent call home, because I was overwhelmed as a teacher to actually make those communications. So I'm really excited to know, like, what does that piece look like? And then what does the leadership communication look like? So yeah, I'm really on board.
Great question. I really appreciate that question, because you're absolutely right. Thinking about newsletter, that's infrequent and it's only one way. We need that two-way conversation. And this is where the leader sets the goal, the SMART goal, which is specific and measurable, but you also have to then put it in language that the teachers can say. So we want to say as a leader, hey, we want our teachers to communicate with 25% of their parents each and every week.
Wow.
So that means if you got 25 kids, we need you to reach out to 5 of them every single week. That's not that hard, right? And then the second part about it is by the end of the month, you've contacted all 100%. So it's manageable. It's a bite-sized piece. That's first off. So we set up a goal, make it sure it's achievable. So that's why it's measurable. I'm not trying to get you to do all 100% of them each and every week, but I want to be specific and targeted on those. So I'm identifying those kids I really need to talk to on a weekly basis. And then after that, I want to set up that communication. I need to clearly communicate that, not just at the beginning of the school year when we sign our handbook and all of that, the faculty handbook, but we also need to be reminded consistently. But the third thing is that we need to provide the resources necessary for the teacher to actually make that a goal, achieve that goal. We need to provide them with a resource like Teachers in Touch to make it to where I can easily communicate with the parent and make it to where I can document that call and text message and email with ease.
Wow. So, okay, I'm getting this idea in my head. So you're saying that you can do this on kind of like one platform. It's kind of like a one-stop shop to where teachers don't have to stop, go to Instagram, stop, go to Twitter, like however their mechanism to tweet out what's going on for the day, or go to Seesaw and put that video up. I mean, that takes, I think, a lot of time. Is what device can I support with, parents, and then what app, and then deliver it frequently enough.
And then turn around and have to document that in the student information system. I have to write it down in some contact log.
Right.
Well, that now it takes a 2-minute conversation and make it 6 to 8 minutes now. Well, I'm not going to be willing to talk to 100 parents in 1 week and they take 8 minutes each time. No, I need it to be 2 minutes and move forward. And we're not talking about just announcements. Announcements could be, oh, we're having a party next week. Oh, we're out of school this day. That's not going to move the needle. That's not going to actually make a kid master a standard. We want to master a standard in ELA or math or whatever subject area, right? So we need specific messages. What do I mean? we need at least 2 messages going home. What are those 2 messages? First message needs to be, and this is a Harvard study that I'm talking about, so this is not something I'm just made up out of my mind, right? So this Harvard study said that if we send the first message of praise, saying your child did a great job in math today, the second message needs to be a growth message. Hey, parent, your child did an outstanding job in math. I know he can work on his 3s and 9 multiplication facts, and we will have an excellent math schedule, math grade or quiz or what have you. So that will be the growth. So he did well in math on his 1s, 2s, and 5s or whatever it is, right? Now I need him to improve, the second message, improve in these specific areas. So the parent, hey child, great job. I'm so happy for you on Monday and Tuesday. Get a great hug, right? And then on Wednesday, the message is, okay, my child, good. I need you to study your 3s and 9s.
Wow.
You do your 3s and 9s.
Wow. I mean, because I'm just thinking about it, and what you are doing right now is kind of differentiating instruction for every child. So you're pretty much targeting each student, identifying the need, and make sure parents are on board with that need so we can work together as families.
That's a partner. That's a partner in education, not, every now and then you come and help. No, I need you specifically for your child. And what parent can't do that? A parent can literally say, hey, go just do the 3s and 9s. I don't need to know my 3s and 9s. I just need to see you working on your 3s and 9s.
Wow. So that, I mean, that's pretty innovative when it comes, because right now we're really talking about meeting the needs of individual learners, but we know as schools we're not doing enough. Absolutely. And my question is, I wonder so where are we picking this data from? Are we getting it from, NWEA assessments? Are we just formative assessments? How are we organizing this content as a school to deliver best to the parent?
Excellent question. There's a bunch of resources as far as the data is concerned, but it literally can be the quiz in the class, your common assessment that your team has made for your math. Let's say you have multiple math teachers on a grade level. Well, then if we made this common assessment quiz, let's say, and it's on the multiplication facts or what have you, I can take that data and specifically say, hey, this child did well on the 3s and needs help in 3s and 9s. This other one needs the 9s and 12s or what have you. And it's just that plug and play type message. The message itself is the bulk of the message is something that's canned and repeatable. The actual specific data is coming from the common assessment that we just gave to that child. So, or in preparation for that the new common assessment that we're about to do. So that's what we're specifically talking about here. That's where we get that data from.
Wow. So you're saying if we implement this strategy where we have the positive and the support, things that we as a parent needs to help our child with, is that where you get your results? Does that build relationships?
Yes, yes, it does. It builds relationship because remember, the first message wasn't a negative message. The first message each week is a positive one about how great that child was. Now, it could be something small. I know that child may not be great in all things, but just find one thing that child did well in it. And if they made a 75 on the quiz, that means they did 75% good job. So you can find 75 something out of that 75 that they did well. So just highlight that one part. So yes, so that makes the parent want to answer the phone call, want to say great job to the text to that. And just imagine when that child returns to school the next day after talking to their mom and say, hey teacher, you said such a great job. I'm so excited. You called my mom. Now I want you to call my mom. I want my mom to be involved. And I'm now motivated because my mom is excited and proud of me. You're proud of me. Now I want to come to your class. I want to do the work that you just suggested so I can get another praise report. Not just a great grade, but another praise report where my mom is excited and I'm excited as well.
Wow. So I could just see I'm getting excited just kind of thinking of, at least I'm going to get a phone call once a month that's going to be praising my child. And I am in the loop as a parent. So now I know how I can best support my student, my child, just to grow throughout. I just can imagine how would this evolve after years of, work at this? Like, what does this look like?
Absolutely. And it's a phenomenal situation to where over the year, not just over the years, but you'll see the growth literally within 2 months. You'll see the change in that student's behavior. It typically takes about 2 months. And what we're talking about is you're literally talking to that parent about, again, the positive and the negative. And I'm not saying negative like your child did something wrong, but the growth area. So, hey, it could be a behavior conversation in this particular instance. Your child did a great job remaining on task for math. I know the second message, next message would be, I know he can do a wonderful job in being focused in reading. So he did a great job in math. Now I need him to focus more in the reading class. And now, so the parent is armed with specific conversation with the child to say, hey, you did a great job in math, but I need you to make sure you pay attention to reading. What's going on in reading? That conversation is now, oh, mom, and now we can have that conversation and that support. The parent then is given to that child. The child then shows up in class, motivated to do whatever it is that you asked them to do, and able to do it because you told him specifically to work on it. So he spent that weekend working on it. So now he's going to do better on his assignment, which then makes him motivated again. Sometimes that positive reinforcement really helps a child motivated to do well in class.
Wow. That just sounds really great to even just think about all the pieces of this system to where growth, right? We're talking about student growth.
Absolutely.
One question I do have, like,
Please.
With the adults, so we have the leadership. In what capacity does the leadership play a role? Like, would the leader, the principal, just be documenting the growth from month to month, or how does that look?
Okay, great question. Well, yes, what is inspected gets done, right? So if it's not inspected, then it more than likely does not get done. So what we want to do is really have that principal monitoring the communication. Literally looking at what's the percentage of positive calls to negative calls. And if there's a lot of negative calls, then you're going to have a negative relationship with the parent, which means parents are not going to answer the phone when the other call comes, right? The second thing is that behavior of that student does not change either, because, hey, if I'm getting bad all the time, then I'm never going to get good. That type of perspective informs the student's behavior. So that conversation from the administrator, looking at the positive and negative calls, has a conversation with the teacher. Say, hey, teacher, we need to spend more time on positive calls. So why not send this positive message right now? Literally open up, sign in, log in to Teachers in Touch, send a positive message right now about whatever it is that kid did. If he got a 20 on something, that means he literally did 20% well. Find something out of that 20 to talk about positive.
Wow.
That's the positive and negative part. Then the administrator can then also talk about the quantity of the calls, quality of the call, because announcing that we're having a birthday party is not going to actually show up on your high stakes testing. It's just one, right? So we need to be specific about what is that message going out. And that administrator can look at it, inspect it, and have a conversation with the teacher to make sure the right messages are going home in the right frequency and the right tone. So all three of those will definitely improve the student achievement, the behavior, and classroom participation, etc.
Wow. I'm kind of speechless. I think this is a great program. I think, like everybody, I think a lot of schools are struggling with this right now, especially with COVID, right? The pandemic has made it very hard for us to build those relationships. So I think this is definitely one way to kind of do that.
Absolutely. And quickly do it without burning the teacher out, because we don't want to add something else to the plate. This is already something that is supposed to be done. It's already being evaluated on the teacher as well as a school basis. It's showing up in the school report card. We have that as a requirement. In fact, Title I requires at least 1% of all of the money that you get goes to parental engagement. But we're not measuring it. We're not supporting it. We're just saying, throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks. Well, let's not do that.
Yeah.
We have research-based methods to teach. We need research-based methods in order to communicate with parents. And that's what we're trying to do. Take that same thought and interest and energy and just applying it to an area that really will multiply your impact.
No, I can definitely understand this. And, you know, even thinking about like, where do we go from here? After a year's worth of this, I can imagine just parents being available and wanting to help any opportunity, any, you know, innovative idea you have as a school, just wanting to help because they feel like they're informed. I think that's
absolutely. And you're so right about how COVID has changed the way we're doing it, because now parents are sitting right beside the child, right? And observing or helping them, depending on the age of the child, helping them navigate the Zoom or helping them navigate whatever platform they're using and making sure they're logging in and things of that nature. So now we're side by side. So they're getting a greater taste or insight into what's going on in the school. Now, when we transition back to face-to-face, or even if you're using a hybrid model, how do we maintain that without while the parent is back at work now or working now? We can literally have conversations. I'm quite sure a parent can maybe steal a few minutes during lunch break at the job to say, let me learn more about what my child is going through or what my child has to do, and have that type of communication. We can do that now. And COVID has shown us, the experience with COVID has shown us that we need to do it and we can do it. We just now have to incorporate that into our everyday practices now that we're transitioning back to a face-to-face model. Yeah.
So I have a last question. So what does the communication look like to the parents? Is it through text or video, voice? Like what type of communication goes back and forth?
Very good question. Very good question. Well, there's so many ways to do it, but one in particular is chatting and texting back and forth. Everybody has a cell phone. Almost everybody has a cell phone, right? And so we use it all over for everything. So why not use that tool? Use it as a text message. You don't have to log into some other app or download some other 3-4 different apps, and depending on what teacher, what grade level, what school. You don't have to. No, you got your phone number. Let's just use that phone number and let's make it happen, right? So that's what the main way of doing it is through text messages. Now, obviously, emails are available as well, but a lot of people may not read their emails. But text messages is the key way of doing that. So that's a great question. And the parent can chat back and forth with the teacher to ask any follow-up questions or provide some updates as well.
And so after that conversation, the teacher would put it in the database. Am I correct?
Well, the great thing about it is with Teachers in Touch, you don't have to worry about putting it in the database. Teachers in Touch does that for you. That's the shameless plug. But yes, we do all of that for you. So again, instead of spending 6 minutes on documenting and all of that, placing it right in, no, don't worry about that. We take care of that for you.
Nice. Man, where was this when I was a teacher?
Exactly, right? When I was teaching too, I mean, I had contact logs, my folder for every child. I had to drop one in and put a note.
Yes. So, you know, I'm so glad to learn a little bit more about this, you know, communication. You know, I love this. Hopefully more schools will start adopting this because it is well needed right now.
It's definitely needed, and it's actually a multiplier of what we're doing in class. We need to think of parental engagement as instructional support. Yep. Just like we think of instructional coaches, just like we think about observations, we think about all of these things of what the teacher can do to do more for the child. But we have a person, a really important factor in that child's life, sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
We need to bring them as partners in this game. And by doing that, we become a part of the village, raising the child and not leaving the partner out. A significant influence on the partner, on us, or on the child, right?
Yeah.
Bring that person out. Let's bring them in the game so we can all raise the child to a success.
Oh, I mean, what do you say after that? You know, that this is a great program. I think all schools should really consider this. I'm speechless. Is there anything you would like to leave us with or share with us? Give us your information. How will we find you?
Great question. Yes, you can find us at www.goteachersinTouch.com. And you can also find us on Facebook, LinkedIn as Teachers in Touch. So, and Twitter at Teachers in Touch. So those are the ways you can find us at Teachers in Touch on Twitter and Facebook. But then on Instagram, you find us at Innovative School Tools.
All right. It was wonderful seeing you as always.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Next time. Bye-bye.